lands and waters may you cross, see mountains white and blue, but on your road, let's not forget the love I have for you.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Shadow of Mordor video walkthrough. This is the very first mission of the game. Well, it will be after the tutorial, what you're watching right now, and it's entitled Spirit of Mordor. And what I'm going to do for this title, folks, is I'm going to be doing a no-nonsense campaign mission walkthrough. I will be doing all the gold missions, I will be doing none of the side contents, I'll be doing none of anything else, no collectibles. It will be a bare-bones run through the game for the people who want to get through it as quickly as possible, or by just doing the barest requirements. And as you can see on the screen right now, I am playing the largely inferior, lesser gen version of this. The last gen version, I should have said. And it's going to come with a whole host of problems. And this walkthrough is going to showcase a lot of them. So if you're on the fence about buying Shadow of Mordor, or if you don't have an next-gen console or a PC that can support it, and you're looking into perhaps picking it up on PS3 or 360, then watch very closely. And I'm going to elucidate to a lot of the things once I've finished explaining what the guide is. But right now you can see there's a glitch happening on the game. Those green objects are textures that have not correctly populated, and instead they're showing what must be some kind of placeholder version of them, and I've never seen that before. Not even on my first playthrough yet. When I start recording, all the weird shit happens, so you need to be aware of that. But this right here, once you did that other fight, that was introducing you to the concept of combat, which is directly like Batman. If you ever played the Arkham series, the only difference is it's nowhere near as precise, and it's going to lead to a lot of frustrations because of that lack of precision if you're good at the Arkham games. Conversely, it's not too difficult as a game, so you should be okay in the long run. And then that just then was showcasing these stealth mechanics, which are absolutely insane. They are just bafflingly powerful. The stealth on this game is crazy, but then everything on this game is crazy because it's so fun yet so broken as well. So right now I am using the bow, the Calibrimbo Spirit version bow. I forget the name of the technique, but on the lower left hand side of the screen you'll notice that below the radar there is my life, and then there also is my focus bar, and then next to it there is a part that says drain. And that is where your stock of those phantom arrows is. And the phantom arrows will one-shot kill enemies when you shoot them in the face. They will also give you opportunities to do special moves with them should you purchase them in your skill tree. And then they'll also let you do these teleportation moves that you get as you progress through the game. They are some of the most powerful aspects of Shadows of Mordor, and when used correctly, they're incredibly devastating. So I'm going to be focusing a lot on arrows because I think they're really powerful. And I'm also going to be focusing on pretty much nothing else. I'm not going to be going out of my way to get runes. I'm not going to be messing around with my runes too much. The one rune I am going to mess with is one that I got completely by accident that enables me to move more swifter. Because there's a skill in this game that allows, is it Talion, I think his name is, to, using accurate button presses, you can traverse the map quicker. And it's my favourite skill in this game. So I got a rune that makes that last twice as long, and it was absolutely amazing, but I do believe the runes are random, and unfortunately you can't control that. And reasons such as that and other parts of the game's design make this very difficult to make a walkthrough for. The game itself is pretty simple, it's not that challenging, it doesn't have any other difficulties either. The only way to artificially increase difficulty is to put restrictions on yourself and maybe not upgrade. But one thing I noticed during my playthrough, because I was originally going to do a no upgrade run of this game, is the game isn't very fun without the abilities. All the stuff you get later on in the game makes this game insanely fun, and early on, even though you are perfectly capable of killing things, the formula of victory is very simple and it would get boring over the course of a walkthrough. Like, I'm already going to be using some techniques that work pretty much religiously on every single enemy, but even then, when you get the new stuff, it allows you to be so much swifter, so much more eventful, so much more fun. And there was the mission pickup, and this is indeed Spirit of Mordor, the first mission that I'm taking on in my guide. The videos are going to be named for the missions, So if you're stuck on a certain area or you're stuck on a certain mission, just search that and you will find it. And I'm going to have them uploaded in the order that I played them. Of course, that may differ to yours because this is an open world game. You can approach it however you choose, and it's one of the biggest charms in it. But once again, if you're playing on last gen, one of the biggest charms in the game is the Nemesis system, which is this organic economy / hierarchy of enemies and people to beat and people to usurp and pit against each other and all this kind of orc politics that you can get into. And it's been vastly slimmed down for this version of the game, and it is still here, but it is nowhere near as cohesive or as deep as it will be if you play, for instance, on PC or if you play on next generation consoles, which this game was designed for. Because there is a lot of things you're going to notice here, guys, on the console. Right now, looking at this, it doesn't look too great. It is perfectly competent at what it does. You're just going to see some really ugly textures, you're going to see some really poor texture popping, and then the performance is going to hiccup every so often because it just kind of does. And if you can put up with it, you will be able to play Shadows of Mordor on your system without having to shell out for a better PC or a better console. But you just need to be aware that you are playing a version of it that does not give it the full justice it truly does deserve. And you might wonder how I know this. Well, I played this on PC earlier this month, or earlier last month I should say. And my PC made it look really nice, and everything in it looked amazing. And then I played this version, and it was quite shocking actually, just how much of a hit this game takes just to run on this console. And you're going to see a lot of that in the way the game works. Like, some enemies don't have their lips synced at all, and there are moments where the sound just completely bugs out. There are plenty of moments where you have little issues and little problems which probably don't exist all that often on the other versions of the game, because things have to be watered down and diluted to such an extent to fit that it just truly does suffer, and the loading times are horrendous. When you first put the disc in, the game forces a mandatory installation, because if you didn't do it, you wouldn't be able to play it. That's how difficult the consoles, how difficult for the consoles it is to just play these games, because they're so much more powerful than they're capable of being. So you do the big install, and the loading times are at least 10 to 20 seconds every time you load, and if you ever bring your map up, it loads bringing the map up, it loads taking the map off, it loads every time you enter into the Soldiers of Sauron mode, which is essentially all the information you need to know about enemies' weaknesses, all the information you need to know about the generals, the captains, the war chiefs, or whatever you want to call them. So some of the most interesting parts of this game take a very long time to load, and I got to the point where I would rather run the city than sit through the loading, and I would rather just hope the waypoint was closer to me than look on the map to see how far away it was, because sometimes the waypoints don't tell you the distance, and it's a whole host of things that you will never see if you play this on the best versions of it. And I can't complain at all, because I knew exactly what I was getting when I got it this version. I'm just happy to be able to bring some videos for it, and it makes me really look forward to when I eventually do play it on the Xbox One, because it comes again with another 1000G, and the achievements so far on this have been incredibly fun to get, and it's going to look beautiful because on the next gen consoles it does. And if I get an itch to play it until then, I still have it on my PC, so I can always just boot that version up, which, oh, it looks splendid, it looks so good. But one thing I'm going to be abstaining from doing too much is doing the intel on this. One of the most fascinating aspects of the game is every time you subdue a captain, sorry, you can then interrogate him to get information on his fellow captains and the war chiefs and the elites and things. And when you do this, you learn the weaknesses, you learn what the proclivities are. This is a captain just over here, and it's just come up there with it, all of his weaknesses and his strengths. And I don't know if they're randomly generated, I'm not entirely sure how they're generated, but it seems to have enough diversity that most of them feel very unique and different. And if you know the weaknesses, and I believe you can look them up online if you want to have all the weaknesses, you can do what I just did then. This guy doesn't like Caragor, so I shot the cage to release it, and you notice how the emblem went green? Whenever the captains have a green emblem, it means you can grab them and immediately interrogate them, and it completely supersedes the need to fight them. which is an awesome mechanic. It's so cool. And then afterwards I wanted to kill this dude, and I started shanking him in the ribs, and it took almost no life off. So instead, if you grab them like this and then you kill them, he'll do the fist crunch, and it just kind of breaks the neck. There you go. He kind of just, you know, looks like he's going to snap the neck, and yeah, dead guy. But there you go. That is the end of the first mission, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and welcome to my walkthrough. You take care now.